Welcome back to another Tech Tuesday gadget. Today we've got the category of robotic lawnmowers. And why? Because, well, why not? We're going to look at this particular company, Worx. We're going to go through why I've chosen this company, and we've got a lot of things to talk about in terms of the unbox, the installation, the app, and the actual first use and ride of it, and have a look at it. So let's go into it, roll the intro, and I'll come back and tell you why I chose this company, and we'll have a full, unbiased review of this product. Okay, welcome back. So thanks for joining me today. If you're looking at getting a robotic lawnmower, you think no further than the company Worx. At this point, I haven't reviewed it, but all the accounts that I've researched, I've done, this company is incredible in terms of its AI and the way it does its mowing and its robustness and the quality of the workmanship in the build of this product. Today we've got first of all, a little bit of history about the company Worx. It's not some cheap sort of company that supplies sort of Aldi tools. It's come out of China. Obviously, a guy called Don Gao in 1994 produced the first whippersnippers and hedge trimmers. He actually supplied the OEM parts for Black & Decker and a few of the big companies. When you're looking at Milwaukee, DeWatt, and also Makita, they're the leading players in tool gadgetry, but this is up there with it, and it's an incredible company. So 2004, they started their range of whippersnippers and all their garden tools, and around about 2014, the event of computers coming in and technology, they started with the AIA, which is the Artificial Intelligence Algorithm, the precursor for AIs we know today. In 2014, they started their first robotic lawnmowers, and they've been powering on since then. The company is an incredibly, really well-respected company, and I've got a whole lot of gadgetry here to go through and show you what I've got. So today's model we're going to be unboxing is the WR149E, which is the new 700 square meter lawn. It's the smallest one. There's the 700, then there's the 1000, the 1500. That's the one WR150, and then they go up in different models, but this is the basic bottom one. My lawn's around about 150 square meters. It's quite sloping, quite steep, so that's why I picked this company. We've got the anti-avoidance ACS system, which I'll go into more detail why I got that, and we've got the garage for it so it can be protected. It's going to be a long video, 28 minutes. But if you're going to buy one of these things for over $1,000, you'll want to see everything in its entirety. Let's unbox it now and have a look at what's in the box, and then we'll go through some of that stuff. So I'll do a quick shot from above, what's in the box, and we'll have a look at it. Open it up, have a good look at it. Next level. And beautiful. I love all the orange insignia. Okay, I'm back. Look, got it all out here now. We saw the unbox. It's beautifully packaged, really well protected. You've got your instruction booklets, your warranty, all the information needed for the actual setup. This is the base station, beautiful module, already set up for you with the charging points and two connectors on here that are flexible. That'll be straight on the ground. We'll go through the details of installing that for you. Right, we've also then got the pegs, and we've also got the ground pegs for the actual boundary wire. That'll also be used for the installation. There's the boundary wire. You can get joiners and you can get clicks that push it together and actually then support extension to that, but that should cover my ground area. Rubber mallet to put it in, that'll be pretty straightforward. And of course, the two most important things, that's the actual battery and the actual mower itself. Now, the battery is a 2 amp hour. It seems really small for what we're doing on a mower of this size, weighing about 35 kilograms, I suppose. But it does work, and it works well. So this will give it 2 hours of sort of mowing time. It will go back to its station, it'll charge again, and then say an hour and a half to fully charge this battery, and then it will go straight into the next phase of mowing. Little perspex thing there, I think that's something to do with the base station. I'll check that later. Right, so here it is. So look at that. It's like an iPhone. It's just absolutely beautiful. Now this particular model is special because it has a floating blade system. As you can see, the blade system floats up and down. It allows it to actually not get caught or shave parts of the grass off if they're actually a little bit higher or lower. I like this because it has the rear wheel drive and not the front wheel drive. So this model is a 149E, which is the, as I said, it's a 700 square meter lawn. And then the 140E is the 1000 square meter lawn. Then you've also got the 150, which is actually the 1,500 square meter lawn. And then of course you've got the new, which I'll just take my hat off to the company and put on my Bunnings hat. Because I need to tell you about Bunnings. So at the moment, Bunnings are partnering with Worx, and you can actually online order the new model, which is the 206E, which is the Vision. What the Vision is has cameras at the front that does 300 frames per second, light management and AI that will map your whole lawn out and do it without having to have a boundary wire, without having to have anything, but just put it down in someone's garden and it will go through and do the mowing. That is a $2,400, $1,000 more than this model, but it only has a gradient of around about 35% incline. My lawn's about 37% in some spots. I've gone for this model. The 149E has got a 45% grade on its climbing rate, which is also a rear wheel drive system, where the Vision is a front wheel drive system. So if you think of a car on a driveway with a rear wheel drive, it's got more traction. Front wheel drive might slip. So I just went for this model because it's simplistic and it will work. But just check Bunnings out on the website for their Vision model for the Worx, which is the latest and greatest AI, and it does so. We'll just change hats for a second. That is an amazing new product, but at the moment, check out Bunnings. There'll be links below for that particular product. You can order it through Bunnings. You can't pick it up, you can't check it out in the store. It's online only, but they're partnering with Worx to do the new Vision, which I'll probably get next anyway for the front lawn. So here we go. So there it is. So you've got your adjustments here for the height. You've got your on-off switch, a nice LCD screen. The battery pack area opens up quite simply here, and your battery goes straight into there. It's literally a normal battery that works with any of these drills or Worx products. So yeah, fantastic. Now, what we do with this thing is we just set and forget. Once it's set up, it will just do its job and it'll mow for you. Got to remember these lawnmowers, these robotic ones, they're not cutting lots of lawn. You're just skimming literally a half an inch or a quarter of an inch every single day. So there's not a lot of work going into the motor, probably not much more than 10% of what it is when it's spinning freely anyway. But it will go ahead and just keep that trimmed every day and hardly using, as I said, any power from your battery. So it's going to be a really affordable and cost-effective way of mowing your lawn. I love the aesthetics of this. I love the whole look. It's just a beautiful looking unit. You can get the 4 amp hour battery. Will give you 2.5 to 3 hours of mowing. You're not going to need it if it goes back and charges anyway and then just re-goes out again. That's fine. Oh, I love the smell of new technology and new gadgets. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is, so we'll go into detail with this when it's up there running. The next thing is the ACS. What's ACS? It's obviously the optical avoidance setup for this particular unit. It just comes on the front here. You unpop this off and it goes on. It has like 2 eyes. It's actually a sensor, not actually a vision. So it'll pick up anything, obstacles in front of it. Now, we've tested before on the height. If you get down to sort of 4 or 5 inches below this, the obstacle avoidance won't see it. I think it has to be at least 8 inches high for it to see it and move around. We'll unbox that now and show you how this looks. There's a nice little ribbon round on the bottom of it just showing that it does fit all the different mower sizes and it will connect to each of them. The company is pretty much prides itself on a very, very high polished user experience when buying this product, in terms of the app right through to actually looking at how these things fit in and how they work. A lot of information on the websites as well as YouTube for this. The regulatory instruction booklet, warranties, etc. And beautifully put inside here is the obstacle avoidance. Be very careful with it. It is a quite expensive item. Works on obviously a sensor. And I went for the silver. You can get black or silver. I thought silver looks a bit more, and it actually is a nice finish like real chrome. And it's also going to be reflective of the heat. So there's that. This will be sitting pretty much on the front of the unit like so, and that will sensor the ACS system for any obstacle avoidance, including even down to soccer balls or pets or animals. I highly recommend that. $199 added to the price, $189 for the garage. We won't unbox that now. I'll do that in the garden and show you that then. And that's pretty much it. Now, this is an unbiased review, been supplied, and big thank you to Worx Australia, including Sarah, for supplying this to me for an independent, non-biased review. And honestly, what I've seen already, I think it'll perform well. Now, this particular product comes with a few options. You've got the ACS obstacle avoidance, as we've talked about. You've also got something called a no-go zone, where you put a unit in here with a magnet, and when you put the magnetic field, which you get in the box of a certain area like swings or a swimming pool or a sort of garden bed, it will avoid that and not go around that area. That's one of the options. You also have a Wi-Fi extender, which plugs into here. You get a little router, piggyback those on your router, will extend it to the garden. You'll need that if you're going to use the app all the time for it. Rain sensor on the front here, which if it gets wet, it brings back to base station. All in all, it's quite an impressive product. You can also get a SIM card for theft, and you've got a PIN code to go in here, and they've got the alarm siren with that particular adapter kit, which if they pick it up, the siren goes off. I'm not going to need it here. I'm in the back garden where it's totally safe protected, so no one can get in. As you can see, it says cut to edge on the side here, which means it cuts really close. Because the way the blades are designed, it's the closest edge cutting electric lawnmower on the market, and I love the fact it has this little area at the front that obviously where the grass gets a bit long, it doesn't get caught, it goes through there and cuts. Another great design. This has been beautifully designed and beautifully engineered, and obviously Worx are the leading player in the robotic lawnmower industry, and you will not have any problems. But let's review it and have a good look at it and see what it can do. And yeah, really impressed. That's pretty much it. The embossed writing, the way it's all finished, the screen, it is just a beautifully refined product, and I'm so excited to be reviewing this for Worx. So guys, look, this will go out now and have a look at the setup, including obviously the base station, and I'll put a wiring PowerPoint down there, outdoor PowerPoint, and we'll put the garage up. We'll do the boundary wire, then we'll finalize it with the app setup, and we'll also then go ahead and do the first run and see how it goes. I'll check back in 3 months and show you how it's performing, and I'll give my final rating after the first run and see what I think and how well it performs on my very thick palmetto spongy grass, which is super thick. So I think without any further ado, let's get out now, and we'll do the 240 volt outdoor PowerPoint, supply that down there, and we'll have a look at it, and we'll set it up, and we'll give my final thoughts on this product, but not too bad at all. So let's get out, install it, and have a look at it in the garden. Okay, welcome back. We're in the garden now. Now we're going to install this pretty professionally today, and I'll give you some tips and some hints about how this is best going to absolutely suit your needs. First things first, the garden was pretty long, the grass, and the hedges were pretty long, and I had to do a bit of work. So one of the biggest things about this is the actual installation only goes for about an hour and a half, if that, just crawling around doing the boundary cable. But and I recommend getting a little rubber mallet and getting yourself a little sharp Victorinox knife to cut the grass, to fit the wire in, to sort of keep it just below the grass, so when you whip a snip later you won't hit it, and that means that in time the wire will sink down a little bit into the dirt. If it's on top of the grass, it'll never sink at all. So that's a couple of hints. Also recommend giving your garden a really good clean. So I completely mowed it, whipper snipped it, went around with a rake and took every stone, every bit of bark out, every bit of the corner. You can see before how it looked. It was pretty long, and it was pretty I had to replant some grass here, but that's now come back. And then obviously the hedges were long, hanging over, giving shadows. And now you can see the garden looks really good. It's clean, it's neat, and it'll work really well. So this particular work takes about 3 or 4 hours, but the actual installation is pretty straightforward. So let's get into it. We got the hood today. We're doing the hood on it, so it'll be pretty exciting. And putting the garage on as well as the mower. And we've also got this set up for the 240 volts. I'll show you now. Let's get into it. I won't get into too much detail. I'll just set it up and do a couple of shots while I'm doing it. And we'll get into the actual functionality of the lawnmower and see how well it works on Australian buffalo palmetto grass. Oh, so basically we've got the cable, the boundary cable. I'm going to walk around with a phone and do the perimeter check. They're all the stakes for it. and that is the footing screws for the base. You've also got the cable and the base. And there's the base coming out, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So you can get rid of the box. Now we've got to put this in a situation where it's level, so you can see it's sloping down, which means the mower will come in and more than likely it's going to roll back this way. So we need to lift that up level. I'm going to have to indent it in and make a little bit of a scalloped area so it runs in, then sits flat. It's the only way we can do it here because my whole garden is pretty much sloping. Okay, that took a bit of time. If you've got a back garden that's sloping, even a small slope like this, you've got to dig this out pretty much level and it'll still be able to get out no problem and come in. So we're going to put this on next. Now I've wired it all up and I'll show you here. Have a look at how wide I've kept it under cover nicely under the PowerPoint with a metal sort of cover over it. I've bunched the wires together, which you shouldn't do as an electrician. It creates an EMF, but that's such a small current, won't matter. Okay, so now I'll put this hood on now, and it's garage, and I'll leave that for tonight. The power is off, so it's all wired up, but the power is off. Tomorrow I'll take you through a detailed, well, it'll be on the same video in a few minutes thanks to editing, but we'll get the boundary cable in and we'll get this all set up and check it out. So yeah, a bit of work if you've got a sloping garden, otherwise yeah, pretty straightforward. Let's get into it. Okay, we're now going to install the boundary wire, which is here. This garden, it should be. We'll have a look at that. So with this boundary wire, we're going to roll it out and we're going to adhere to the instructions on how to do the outside right angles, like these two sandstone turrets. It comes with all the beautiful pegs. I recommend definitely not breaking them off, keeping them together. So when you break each one off, you know you've used up one batch of 7. Otherwise, if you lose these things in the garden, you'll never find them. They're so small. And that's all you'll need. No scissors, no cutting. We're going to run it around the garden. Should take about an hour. Neatly done. Using the guides that come in the box, you pop them out and they use as a guide for the corner, for the Bertelston corner, which makes the mower do a nice right angle. And of course the distance, so you get a close edge to the garden. Let's install it.
So here she goes at midnight, mowing the lawn. There's not one sound. Look at it. It's pretty thick grass. It's doing such a good job. Look at that. Look at the cut. Helps you avoid this. My voice is louder than the lawnmower. Unbelievable. So mowing here at midnight. Crazy, eh?
Okay, here we have the Landroid app. I absolutely love this. There it is. It works on iOS and also Android. Click on that. Straight away it boots up pretty quick. We've got the obviously the interface desktop shows the lawnmower, and it shows your 5 add-ons. In my case, I've got the ACS, which is anti-avoidance, and I've got the off-limits device. I haven't got the voice control or the Find My Landroid, which is a SIM card essentially. I haven't got my radio link, so I'm using my Wi-Fi extender, but that's what that shows. Top left-hand corner gets 3 bars for the menu. We'll go through that now. 66% battery is very important. I've got mine turned off and lifted off the prongs with a pool noodle hack. I'll show you later how to do that to keep the battery not charging, so it keeps it 66%. We're going to detail why I'm doing that. And the other side has a lock, little padlock, shows you can have Wi-Fi lock or auto lock. Then we go in the very bottom, you've got the big orange bar showing the timeline of what's happening. Is it charging? Is it mowing? Is it going home? It comes up red there when it says lifted or out of bounds. And then below that you've got a house, a play button and a pause. Quite self-explanatory. Play, bring back home and pause it. The arrow up will bring up a menu of 4 little options. One's the Bluetooth on and off. The next one's the start routine for the edge routine, which goes around and just does your edge. For some reason, if you want that done more than normal. Then you have party mode, which is if you've got people in the garden, kids come out running, pets, that will automatically come back and come to home if it interacts when on that setting. So you can put it on, forget about it, and then if something happens out there and look, kids are running around, it'll come back. The bottom one is the one-time schedule. I use this all the time. It's on 2 hours 30 minutes. You touch it, come up with a menu. You can scroll between 1 hour, 2 hours 30 minutes, and I find 2 hours 30 minutes is the perfect optional time to use the battery up. Click it back down, click the play button, and we're on. We're going. We're mowing. Okay, hit the 3 bars menu. First one is my Landroid, showing you all your Landroid. I can add one. I'll be adding one next week for upstairs lawn. The next one, my lawn. This is a great interface. However, a lot of it's not working in Australia, which is the soil type, vegetation, grass type, and irrigation and nutrients. So it understands the kind of lawn you got and will mow accordingly. You don't need that. 92 square meters, you just do it, you know how to mow it. 92 square meters is the satellite navigation that takes you around the garden. You walk with your phone, that's part of the setup, and mine said it was 92 square meters of lawn, and that's just showing that there. When you click on that, you can sort of see the perimeters, and you can set it manually if you want. Go down to the auto schedule. I don't use that. If you have got heavy lawns, you want to do it automatically, you can just set that on and turn that off. Multi-zones, you've got 2 lawns of the pathway, it'll go across the pathway and then it'll go to the other lawn, etc. Scheduling on and off is just part of your scheduling. You can do different days and set them all up, but quite frankly, you won't need to mow on schedule unless you're going on holidays. So pretty much I mow all the time from the front, click down, automatic quick mow, which I just showed you. The rain delay there, obviously you can delay the rain. So if it's been raining and the sensor on the mower picks up the rain, it will bring it back, and before going out again, it delays for a couple of hours for the grass to dry. That's all that is. The activity log, this is good. This shows you what's happening while you've been away, like a babysitter. Obviously if it's an error, it comes on the right hand side like a debit and credit in red, showing it's being lifted or it's out of bounds. But this just shows everything went according to plan.
Of course, firmware update. This is a great firmware backup. Landroid and the Worx company really excel in this backup firmware. It's the bee's knees. There's no other lawnmower company that does the detail of this app. Obviously, the company who's set this up is a really good sort of software company, and this back-end office stuff is incredible. Settings will just shows you can change your name, your location. You can unpair it, reconfigure it for new router comes in the house. That's pretty much all that. Device info gives you info of the device, the MAC address, the firmware, and the name and the model of your lawnmower. And your account, again, talks about you can delete account, change the name, change emails, etc., and log out. There we go. And of course, support. It's a great little support thing, like a little user manual help, which gives you an idea of any issues you want. You can find, have a chat to assist people as well through this. It's quite good. And then we go to About, and that will show you the build date of the software, version 2.2.39. That's the 1st of May, and the build number and all that kind of stuff there. So go back to the main menu. That's it. It's just a very effective, efficient app. It worked for my hospital bed with my knee operation in hospital. I mowed the lawn, stopped it, brought it back, all from this app. And I would recommend, without a doubt, getting yourself a Tapo camera, as you see here. And I can go down the driveway camera, back garden camera, and I can see the back camera by spinning it around, and I can move the camera and see where it is. So again, having the eyes on the ground as well as the lawnmower itself AI, it's pretty impressive setup. So there you go with an overview of the app, and I'll come back with my final thoughts now and my rating.
Welcome back. It's been 5 months since I installed it all. The reason I did that is I wanted to really showcase through the end of summer into winter, with especially the winter low, sort of like, weedy sort of clover stuff, and also give it a thorough testing before I give my final thoughts and my rating. So I told the company I need to really test it thoroughly, which I have done. Let's jump right in. So first of all, I'll talk a bit about the pros and the cons and my final thoughts, and of course the final rating. Before we do, I'll talk about these little add-on packages. I highly recommend the ACS, the anti-collision system. I got this free thanks to the guys, Sarah and the team, to test, and I got that a 9.9 out of 10. It didn't miss a beat. Obviously it's there for if something falls in the garden, soccer balls, pets, animals, birds, wildlife, tortoises, washing lines. It will pick it up as it comes to it and goes around it, and it cuts really fine around it, so it does a beautiful job with a washing line. It goes right to the edge. It's just beautiful the way that works. That is a great product. Highly recommend that. So thanks to the team for that. Next thing I did, I got the no limits or the off limits system. Comes with a magnetic tape. It's more not like the boundary wire. It's a flat, thick magnetic tape, and it has a green line on it. I recommend put the green line on top. That worked better for me. That rating is a 9.7 out of 10. Worked flawlessly. A couple of times the lawnmower got caught in it and couldn't get out, but that's probably more the fact that it had confusion with the boundary. If you've got an area that's just got a bit of wear, or it's a bit of worn, or it's got a bit of weeding done, you can just put a line there and it keeps it away from that and keeps that area repairing itself. Then you just pick up the magnetic tape, roll it up, put it back in the garage. It's done like that. I found this is beautiful because this doesn't have to loop. You just put it out one length. You can do a 3-foot length, a 2-foot length. I've got a line there and a line here, and it just hits it and goes away. And that is a great product. I can thoroughly recommend that. Now, the next thing I'll talk about now is the pros and cons of this mower. Now, there's no surprise, there's not many cons, but there's some improvements I can talk to you about. There could be room for improvement, but let's talk about the actual pros. Number one, the unit is a solid, robust mower. It's like a Panzer tank. It's solid. It hasn't missed a beat, never got stalled anywhere, never died. It went back on battery 20% perfectly. This mower doesn't have, like the other ones, the Luba, the Yabo, the Gardenia, the Husqvarna, all require a home line base, another wire to go back to home, where this just finds the boundary and goes along your boundary and back home. So the Worx is ahead of its game on that, and it just means it's less work, less extra wire, less maintenance, but also you get a free edge trim on the way home, which is kind of cool. And I love that, and that's a really good pro of it. Also, just the color, the orange, you can see it like I'm color coded today. From my camera, the pan and tilt tilt tapo camera. I'll do a review of that. I recommend putting those cameras in for $45. I've got a Wi-Fi repeater in the laundry. Don't forget the add-on Wi-Fi extender. Just get a repeater from Temu. It nuked the whole garden. I've got 100 square meters here. It covers everything, and that also went to the camera, and I can pan and tilt from overseas on holidays or in hospital. I got my knees done, double knee replacements just recently. That's why it's been delayed as well. I was able to watch from a hospital bed the lawnmower and pan and tilt. Being orange, you can see it. I love that. That was really, really good. Next thing is the app. The app is just flawless. It's one of the best apps I can see on the system at the moment on any of these lawnmowers. It does party mode, does quick mode, does schedule mode, does the life of the lawnmower blades, the log of how long you've used the lawnmower for maintenance. But for me, 100 square meters in Sydney, Australia in winter, maybe mow every 3 weeks. I just let it mow every week. And then in summer, obviously it mows every 3 days. But this 100 square meter lawn, it will do it in 2 hours, 30 minutes on a special, just a quick start mode. And that will do my whole lawn pretty much. I have to do it again for about 4 or 5 days. That app is just priceless. It's phenomenal. It is one of the leading aspects of this particular lawnmower that is cutting edge above its competitors. I love it. And you've got a screen on the lawnmower so you can see what's happening, and it's really easy to push the dial in. You've got your code, your pin, security, alarm, lift, all the rain sensor, all works beautifully. Next point is its quietness. It's super quiet. I don't know how many decibels, but it has to be less than 20. I've mowed at night here at midnight with my neighbour's windows open, maybe 20 feet away here. They can't hear it. I can't hear it sitting here while it's mowing. It's that quiet. So you can mow at midnight. If it's rained for 2 or 3 weeks and you need to mow at midnight, you can do it at 2 in the morning. You just don't hear it. And that is a really, really good aspect of one of these lawnmowers. So cutting is really good from a 1/2 inch to 3 inches. I've gone 4 inches, about that much of cutting grass. The thing I like about this design, it has these little holes at the front, or these little strips of plastic cutaway, so when you go into the grass sort of goes through that and then keeps firm while it goes into the cavity, and it gets cut very quickly. Otherwise, most lawnmowers have a flat face and it flattens the grass and the grass doesn't get cut. This has a nice 8-inch width cut. It's good enough to do this lawn in about 2 hours and 30 minutes. 8 inches is fine. It cuts it beautifully. I recommend changing the razor blades every 2 months if you're doing a lot of cutting. I've got buffalo here and also palmetto. It's a thick, sort of thick leaf, and it probably needs the blades changed a little bit more than normal. The battery is beautiful. It also works with other tools. I'm going to also review this little mini chainsaw. It does the same battery, 2 amp, 20 volt, and we'll do that as well. And then I'll talk a bit why that's important to have something like this for the battery. It doesn't come with the battery. I'll talk to you about why, because this battery works with this. I'll go into that in a bit more detail in a second. All in all, I can't fault it, and the rating is going to be very high, but I'll talk about the rating at the end. Let's talk about some of the cons, and there's not many, but the main con is that with battery management, you've got to remember that batteries work much better when they are kept at 60%. So if you can keep a battery at 60%, like we always have exposure to batteries in terms of our electric toothbrushes and our drills in the garage. So when dad or hubby goes get the drill out, it's down to 2%, put it on, it doesn't last very long because it's run out or it's dried up or died. It's actually lost its power down to 20%. That's not the way to keep a battery in a drill in the shed. Number 2, electric toothbrush is always on the charger 24/7, so it's charging 100% all the time. Again, it degrades the battery. You should keep a battery at 60%. I do it with my electric car, my BMW i3. I'm an electric skateboard reviewer. I've got 27 skateboards in there. They all are 60% stored. They always fully charge and they always get full range. So with this, I would like this to have a 60% cutoff, but unfortunately it doesn't have that. So the app could incorporate maybe a switch to turn the battery charging off, which wouldn't be too hard to incorporate, or you would have an option to say charge to 60, charge to 70% and cut off. Because it doesn't have that, what I do, I don't want to fully charge it to 100% and leave it here for about a week and a half in winter. It just stays on 100%. Yes, it cuts off the charge and just sits there, but I think it still trickle charges a bit. So what I recommend is going down and lifting it off the prongs and moving in between the prongs so you're off the charger at 60% and leave it. It just requires you to walk down when you want a lawnmower and put it back on, because you can't manually do that when it's on the prongs. It has to be charging on the prongs for the Wi-Fi to acknowledge to start mowing from the app to start it. So for me, if I'm home, I just take off the prongs at 60%, keeps the battery 60%, and then when I want to mow, I'll click on the prongs, have a cup of coffee, it'll be 100% in half an hour, then it does its mow. That will keep your battery in tip-top shape for at least 3 times the length of anyone else who has a battery, and also keep it working well for years and years. That's an important aspect. They could find a way of being able to isolate the battery from the app, so you could stop it at 60%. That would be wonderful. Other than that, that's a bit of a downer for me because I have to come down and do that manually. That's one of the cons, really. The other little con is that when it does somehow stop for some reason, if it's hit something, to actually get it to go again, it's a bit tricky. It's no real good instructions. You've got to either turn it off and hold the button down, turn the whole thing off, turn it on again. I found that was taking time, putting the code in the pin, and then you have to start again. But somewhere online, someone said you hit the start button 1, 2, 3 times in a row. It just defaults to a screen, as you can see now, where it then goes to that first one. You just push it to the one start. When you click that, off it goes again. And that's a quick, easy way. But if there was a way on the app to do that, it'd be great. But unfortunately, you've got to manually go down and sort of do that, which is a bit of a pain. But other than that, that's not a deal breaker, really. The only other con is the 8-inch width of cut. I thought, yeah, maybe it could have been about 9 or 10 inches. But really, for what I've tested in the garden, that 8-inch cut does my whole lawn here in about 2 hours and 30 minutes. But what it does have a benefit, it has a very close shave to what they call a sharp cutting edge, a really close cut edge. You can see it written on the side of the machine, and that will give you a really close cut around washing lines, around posts, around lawnmower edges. It is one of the closest in the game of cutting to the edge of pathways or any sort of edge. It's brilliant. People ask me, where's the grass go? Well, basically, you're cutting 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch off at any time. It just keeps shedding that around the garden, keeping it, like a bit of a fertilizer. Yeah, my local magpies and kookaburras love it. They follow it around. My dog, my little Jack Russell, has a ball with it, barking and chasing it around. It's a lot of fun, and my grandson just has so much fun chasing it and laying in front of it. So look, that's the only pros and cons with this unit. There'll be links below to a code you can get if you want it through me, where you get VIP subscriber support, and you'll have my backup on that from the team here in Sydney at Worx Landroid. And thank you again, Sarah and the team. And I can say, to be honest, my final thoughts are, if you're looking at getting a robot lawnmower, just get this. This is the bee's knees. It's the iPhone of robot lawnmowers. It just works. You can get a lot of other features with other things that you don't need, and this has a simplicity setup and just robust working. It just does its job, and it really is, to me, the iPhone of robot lawnmowers. I can't fault it. So for that today, the rating is going to be a 9.9 out of 10. Now, I can't give it a full 10 because a few issues I think with the app could be improved with the battery management, and there's a couple other things, but really minor. But pretty much a 9.9 is the highest rating on my channel for a product, and I must say that I'm just totally blown away with it. So yeah, I'll leave you some footage of it mowing, and look, just don't hesitate if you're looking at a robot lawnmower. The Worx, obviously, Landroid is a high quality product, and you'll have no issues. So hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, get a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that button. We're doing the pruners, we're doing also the Tapo cameras, so you can see the best camera to work with this. And you really do need a camera down here to watch what's going on. It saves you coming out the back, or even coming back from a holiday or shops or whatever. You can know what's going on at any time. We'll have some more gadgets for you. We'll see you next video. Till then, stay safe. What? You're still here? Cool. Listen, why don't you watch some of these other videos I've made in the past along the same lines to what you just watched, in the same kind of category. Enjoy.